You and induct the rabbi of rhetoric, the cancer of chaos, the moil of mayhem. The goy may not get it, but we do. We're fine.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome dear friend and dear asset, Joe Gertner to the 2023.
Joe Gertner, the Quintessential stud Muffin. No copyright, please. No copyright. I don't own the music. No copyright, please. I don't own the music. Kurt, I don't own this music. I don't own it.
I'm worried, and to the dozen and dozen of you in the room still, I want you to know why it is that I'm concerned about something I should have started to get concerned about years ago and didn't get concerned about until this afternoon. They might have been right when they said, don't marry somebody in the business. My wife, in college, and then out of college, worked for the World Wrestling Federation, WWE,
Oh, there you are.
Titan Towers, in publicity and public relations. I bring this up because it turns out that even though she never hangs her head on this, and it's never really brought up in public, she apparently is indeed the better and bigger worker in our household. Because I expected today that she and Eric Anderson would be here, and instead of she and one or two friends, she surreptitiously, behind my back, arranged so that a throng of about 10 of my closest friends and chosen family, some from hundreds or thousands of miles away, have come here to be here today. My whole speech is going to be not to put myself over, but to put over them and everybody else in this room for being such a great part of the New England wrestling scene. Before I ever traveled to different states of this great land, when I was very young, I knew as a young boy there was a Boston. It was the other garden. We had the real garden, Madison Square Garden, that had once actually been a garden, but was so important they moved it to the middle of the city. In Canada, they had an alternate universe garden known as the Make-Believe Garden. And I would watch wrestling from the Make-Believe Garden. And then in America, there was one more garden where everything was a little bit yellow and cluttered and smoky, and it looked different, but it was still wrestling, so I decided I would love it. And it was the Boston Garden right here in New England. First live event that I ever went to was at that real garden, Madison Square Garden. It was January 27th of 1986. It was, I believe, a Monday night, but it was not Raw. It was monthly MSG, TV, and house show. And the main event exists on countless Coliseum to Macho Man Randy Savage. In doing due diligence for something, I found out just a few months ago that the Space Shuttle Challenger unfortunately exploded the very next morning. I was home from school because I had been in my first wrestling show the night before, and it was a snow day anyway because the weather was terrible. I remember at the time watching what happened on the small kitchen table TV, but until a few months ago, never knew the date. I could tell you for sure that my first wrestling show was January 27th of '86. I had no idea the Challenger exploded January 28, 1986. This makes me, in part, the lunatic that I am, and the wrestling fanatic that I have always been. Over the decades, thanks to Extreme Championship Wrestling, Sheldon Goldberg and his NECW, and thanks to many others, I got to travel throughout this region as a teenager, young adult, eat many Perkins breakfasts after the show was over, and even find a part of New England to call my home and home base for my promotion, MXW. I would go on to live in Walker, Connecticut for 2 or 3 years, promoting in Bristol, in Waterbury, in Wallingford, all over the place, Toad's Place in New Haven eventually, and it even reopened the Washington Avenue Armory in Albany, New York, the first wrestling tenant there since Vince McMahon Sr., and the wrestling tenant there that followed me was NXT and Vince McMahon Jr. All of this is while living here in my second home of New England. I would like to thank Joe Bruin, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and all the people who work with and support it. My brother from another mother, Sebastian Picagno, who, since my wife has surprised me with a half-dozen friends I didn't expect to meet here, he called me and told me that he had been called away and wouldn't be able to make it, and I'm half expecting him to pop up from the back of the room or through that door. I texted him as much at dinner, so we'll see if he shows or not. Whether he's here or not, he is here. He is my life coach, my sounding board, my voice of reason, returning the favor from the mid to late 90s during ECW, where I was his advocate, his advisor, and basically his lawyer, Mr. David Kleinfeld. Speaking of lawyers, let's hear it for the man who inducted me, Eric Anderson Esquire. And I did. Eric is the barrister to bad boys. Eric is the viceroy of vice. He is the solicitor of sin. Nick Halverson is here from Minnesota or Costa Rica. He spends half the year there now. He's an international real estate big shot. But in younger days, on my 18th birthday, which was about 3 or 4 weeks into my freshman year of college, away from home, where I had been sheltered like a veal,
So true.
we decided that we would go out and get free drinks because the fraternities were rushing. But before we did that, since it was also Thursday night, the beginning of the college weekend, and my 18th birthday, we would pregame, which included me, of my own volition, drinking from an 8-ounce styrofoam coffee cup, since this is a family-friendly ceremony. Shelton Benjamin. He's laughing, but he knows. He owns more of Costa Rica than I rent in Brooklyn. It's fully legit for him to sell his property down there. I swear, he's not just a white man going into the jungle and squatting. He's got his rainbow card and everything. So if you want to be a true American expat, hit him up. You're welcome, I think. Sorry for the damage. Eric Stefanowitz and Nate Lugard are here. They work for a New England-based pro wrestling company. First, NEPW, and now a similarly large organization known as World Wrestling Entertainment. They work in the TV department. Eric was a right-hand man in NXW, had a keen eye for talent, helped me promote, helped me produce, helped me book. Nate was our one-man production department. He was not just the production arm, he was the whole throbbing body. I got a call one day. It was from Human Resources at World Wrestling Entertainment. Who will blow me over? As my moment finally arrived and discussion of hiring began, I was asked, so how exactly is Nate Lugard to work with? I was a personal reference for Nate. He has moved on to bigger things, higher places, or as they say up there, onward and upward, pal. And I would like to think that some of it is because I shined them up real nice. And I'm not necessarily still waiting for him to return the favor. Just kidding, I'm on my own. From high school, Mark Paluccio, Dave Shao, and King Slomko are here. We used to go to wrestling shows together. King used to go to wrestling shows with me and Eric. We all went to shows with Eric and our friend Marcus, all of us together. Dave Shao, I think he and his dad took us all to the Nassau Coliseum, I want to say May of '89. It was the same day that in the area, Hands Across America was going on. It was the biggest thing in the world. People would remember it for 34 years. I barely remember it, but I remember that the opening match on the program didn't make it, so it was replaced by another. But the original opening match that we should have seen and didn't see, the result of that match that never happened was printed in the New York Post the next morning. I have no idea how Hands Across America. We're thanking grandfathers today, which John Vega reminded me to do, so I'll thank them. So I went into the newsstand, and I was like 12, it was like 87, and I wanted Glow magazine #1. I absolutely positively wanted to start from #1 so I could collect every issue of Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling magazine. And so I went and I got it out of the rack and I brought it up to pay for it. And the store owner did not speak English, did not read English. And I gathered as much because Glow magazine had been placed with all of the gentlemen's like the Boogie magazine. So my grandfather came in from the car where he was parked outside, and because they thought it was pornography, they did sell it to him, and then he gave it to me.
Grandfather.
Mark Lucio, one of my friends, is here that I didn't expect. We went to an IWCCW show at some church gym or high school gym, and the ring announcer was his uncle, his father's cousin, Cowboy Dennis Alestra, a local auctioneer, and he did independent wrestling ring announcing. And it was 1990. I hadn't started working as talent yet. I was about 15. And there's a flag in the ring. They're about to play the national anthem. And Cowboy Dennis Alestra motions over to his nephew, and Mark walked through the ropes and held the flag during the playing of our national anthem. And I spent that next 2.5 minutes 10% considering the vast and ample greatness of our nation. I spent the other 90% saying, that son of a bitch doesn't want to be around school for He doesn't want to be an astronaut. He may have been the first one to stand in the wrestling ring, and that's okay, because he loves wrestling too, and I watch WrestleManias with him in his basement. But I'm going to be the next one. Kane is here. Kane has helped out along the way in my wrestling journey. Kane is here with his beautiful wife, Denise. They are here with their son, Mason. Mason is waving. You will notice Mason not just because he is kind, friendly, empathetic, bright, and charismatic, but in the best way. You will notice Mason because he could be cast at any moment as Brock Lesnar, age 14, and Mason is about 10 years old. Whether Mason chooses sports like MMA or other sports he engages in, entertainment or anything else, just as his father is a successful artist, just as his mother is a successful educator and administrator, Mason is going to do great things in his long and prodigious life. I want to thank Robert Conti, who I went to school with all these guys, but I also went to summer camp with him first, since I was 6 or 7 years old. He introduced me to pro wrestling when I was 8. He was a big Roddy Piper fan, and I too became a big fan of heels and of talkers. So I want to thank him. Paul Heyman, my mentor. I'm an original Paul Heyman guy. I thank him for his challenge. Well, I think it was his. I wrote my own verbiage, and I thank him for giving me the freedom to, but well was his. I think he was into Bugs Bunny and stuff, and he just thought that it was a real heelish thing to say at the beginning of everything. Quintessential Stud Muffin was his, because the same way I did in ECW, what he did in WCW, and he trusted me with that. The same way he managed Rick Rude, and I was an antagonist for Rick Rude on his TV. I also haven't lost sight of the fact that he coined me the Quintessential Stud Muffin in homage of the universal heartthrob, Austin Idol, who he managed in Alabama. Thank you to Jerry Jarrett. I knew I wasn't a one-trick pony. I was actually a two-trick pony when I had a 45 to 60-minute phone call with Jerry Jarrett inviting me to join TNA. Thanks to Tony Runkle, who loved my tape for CCW, New York, or because they lost the money or the time slot or some such. He loved the tape. He couldn't bring ask you if I didn't beat on yourself with stomach crack. I never heard about it from him. He was such a pleasure to work with. It was an honor, and he was such a gentleman. Thanks to the Wonderland Dog Track in Revere, Massachusetts. So as we were getting changed in the locker room, we could hear the announcer go for the mechanical rabbit and yell, "Van Gert's Swifty!" while we were changing. Much more pleasant was thank you to the Sting in New Britain, Connecticut. Which was connected to next door Molly Malone's, a club for adults attracted to females. Even better than the dog track was our locker room atmosphere and situation there. I mean, you go to work and a bachelor party breaks out. I was once so late, by the way, at the Wonderland Dog Track in Revere that at 11 p.m., after taking the Boston trains for the first time in my life with my gear, I was going up the escalator, arriving at the show, while the fans next to me were coming down the escalator to leave after the main event. Thanks for all the long paydays, gosh. Thanks to a Worcester Palladium, where I enjoyed watermelon drunk with vodka. With my friend Gangster New Jack. And then went through the curtain as his nemesis and got my melon caved in by a steel chair by my friend Gangster New Jack. We have our own ECW New England crew, promoters, referees, announcers, security. Thanks to Paul Richard, thanks to Rich Palladino, thanks to Stuart Kaplan, and I don't know if any of them are here, and because of that, and I'm not into politics, so I cede the next 30 seconds of my speech to the gentleman from Montana, Bull Montana!
Ladies and gentlemen, at one Clan Ballroom, there was an accident there, and there was a young gentleman, I didn't know what happened, so I did Mr. Gertner there, and then all the greatest wrestlers from ECW were there. I think they did a couple of my boss and then Joe and then Perry Saturn, the late John Cook.